Now we're going to go through the installation of the kit in the 12 gauge Magnum gun. Now 20 gauge Magnum are the same, and I didn't mention in my last video, but 16, 20s, and 12s all use the same system on those bronze rings and setup. It's all the same. They're just a little smaller ring. That's all there. But anyway, here's the difference in the 12 mags. And there again, if this were a 20 mag, it'd be the same thing. The 12 mags have more rings, more friction rings. They have a heavier recoil spring. The action spring that we just replaced in this light 12, this action spring is the same. So you put it in the same way. You remove your stock, put on your new action spring plug, and put your follower on, and bang, slide it in, you're good to go. So no need to really take the stock on that, off of that. Same thing on the magazine spring. This one has a little different system that you notice here. This has the black plastic retainer. Same thing, just take it over and hook it on the nail and pull it out just like you would the metal one. And then on these, the correct way to put them together is put your plastic in, push it down a little bit, and put your plastic plug on top. That's the way they do the plastic. The metal they do with the plug under it. So don't ask me why. That's just the way they come from the factory. That's the way I do it. Now, so when you put your new Magnum recoil spring on, if you want to shoot 2 3/4 loads through that gun. Now there again, Magnum guns were designed for 3-inch shells for Magnum loads. They weren't really designed to shoot lighter loads, and usually you have to shoot like a heavy 2 3/4. But they weren't really designed to shoot lighter loads, but in most cases they will. So you need to remove, now here's our Magnum gun. We've got, in here we have 2 bronze pieces. We have 3 steel, 3 friction rings. Now, to shoot light loads, remember on the 2 3/4 guns we put the ring upside down? Well, you can't really do that with all these here. So you're going to have to remove 1 bronze and 2 steel. Put those in your pocket. Don't lose them. I would say probably 50 to 75% of all the A5 12 mags that come into my shop or that I buy are short these rings, because guys put them in their pocket, they forget where they put them, and they're gone forever. But I've got new ones on hand if you need them. We have those in stock. But now if you want to shoot 2 3/4 shells, 2 3/4 rounds, put your magazine, this would be your new recoil spring. It's a heavier spring than, of course, what we did in the light 12. And all these recoil springs, while we're talking about it, they're different for every gauge. There's one for the 20, one for the 16, one for the 20 mag, one for the light 12, 2 3/4, and one for the 3-inch. So all these are different. The action springs are all the same. Magazine springs are the same. The same spring. This is a 12 gauge spring here. It'll fit in the 2 3/4 or the 3-inch. The 16, 20s are all the same spring. They're a little shorter, but there's no difference there. Let's go. To shoot 2 3/4 rounds, slide your recoil spring on. Put on 1 steel ring, bevel up. 1 bronze ring, and there's bevels on both sides, so just put it on any way you want. And that gun is now set up to shoot light loads. Remember, you have a bevel in your barrel here, and that's going to be working on this bronze piece, squeezing from 2 different ways to slow it down, slow the travel down. Now to shoot Magnums, let's start from scratch. And the diagram will be in your kit. Just look at that. They make, for these, and I've got some, and I'm probably going to make some more up, they make and this one you can see it in the bottom of the form here, they make a diagram, a ring diagram, so you can kind of look down in your form to see how it goes. They don't recommend leaving that in at Browning. I used to see the guys that worked on A5s a lot at Browning taking a big rasp and taking that out, and I'd ask them, why are you taking that out? And they said, well, because they ball up and bind up in your recoil spring. So the first thing they would do when they would come in was to remove that. So they don't recommend having that in there, but if you put it in there and it stays in place, you're good. So they're out there. Anyway, we're going to set this up to shoot 3-inch shells. So let's put our recoil spring on. Let's put on a steel ring, bevel up. Let's put on a bronze ring, either way. Now let's put on another steel ring, bevel down. Now as you can see, both these steel rings have the bevel against that bronze, or squeezing the bronze. Let's put another steel ring on, bevel up. and then the bronze. So as you can see, now there's 2 bronze rings on there, and they're being squeezed from both ways. This has 2 steel rings against it to squeeze and grip it, and up here we have the top one, which has the 1 steel ring and the bevel and the barrel to grip it and slow down the travel. And that's really the only difference between these and the light 12s. You have a little bit of difference in the rings. And same thing, a drop or 2 of some synthetic motor oil, just a drop or 2 on the tube. You don't need much. And put it on a finger ring or a finger, and you're good to go. And just go ahead and reassemble your gun, put it back together, and you're good to go. That's all you've got to do to put in your new kit in your Auto 5. And we're always here for you. If you have any questions or comments, give us a call. We'll be glad to talk to you and discuss any issues you might have with it. But that's all there is to it, so good luck on it.